Another day, another post-coaching episode. We're at episode 41, and this was a hefty slate of games tonight. A lot of a lot of stuff happened. Some crazy scoring numbers. We'll talk about everything. Before we get to that, if you enjoy basketball, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts about today's games. What are you excited about for tonight's games? Well, tonight's game. And let's get into it. We start in Cleveland as the Cavs demolished the 76ers. And the Cavaliers needed this win after a very bad loss in Toronto where they were horrible. They all looked really great today. Everyone played their best today, or it at least felt like it. Even without Jared Allen, they bounced back. They were really great. Caris LeVert had his second best game of the season after that 40 piece. He's been really bad and in and out the lineup with injuries. He had 22.6 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench. Darius Garland 21 points, 9 assists. His classic game. Donovan Mitchell 18 points on just 9 shots. He took his spots, he picked his spots, and he was really good when he picked his spots, and he played a really good playmaking game also with his 6 assists. Evan Mobley 16 and 8. And Isaac Okoro had 11, 5, 2, and 3 steals off the bench in a huge win for the Cavs over the 76ers that have been really good even without most of their star players, with Joel Embiid just returning, and it probably caught up to them finally. Tobias Harris had his worst game in a while, just 3 points. PJ Tucker actually scored, which is crazy. D'Anthony Melton had 9, Shake Milton had 14. He was the only one that shot the ball somewhat okay, except for PJ Tucker, and Daniel House, Paul Reed off the bench were solid, but they just got blown off the floor, and I can't even blame them. We move on to Florida as we head to the Orlando Magic losing against the Atlanta Hawks that bounced back after a really bad stretch of losses. And it is a really good win for Atlanta, but they also lose 2 starters. John Collins and DeAndre Hunter both had to leave the game, and they will have MRIs today. We still don't know the extent of the injuries with John Collins. It appears to be much, he is listed day to day as of right now. DeAndre Hunter, I'm pretty sure, is the same. We're not sure any of these extents. We'll know today. I'll let you know tomorrow. And yeah, it opened up minutes for the bench as Jared Culver and with Krejci, my fellow Czech Republic guy, got huge minutes, and they contributed to the win, with Jared Culver having 9 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. And a really positive impact with Krejci. Even though he didn't make a shot, he still had 1 rebound, 1 assist, and was solid defensively. He did his best also, and I was so happy to see him get some playing time finally. Hopefully he gets more. AJ Griffin was sensational off the bench as the rookie continues to impress. Onyeka Okongwu filled his role, 12 and 8 off the bench in 17 minutes. Trae Young, 30 points, 14 assists. He was sensational. Even though the 3 is still not falling, he was efficient today. He shot 12 of 23 from the field, and he was sensational. DeJounte Murray, 11 of 23, 27 points, 6 assists. One of his better games in a while. Clint Capella had 20 and 12, Mr. Consistent for them, and the defensive anchor, and a good win for him after a really bad losses. At least 3 of them were, right? They were on a 3-game losing streak. And they beat the Magic, who have been really bad lately. They also have some injury news, but in the good way, as Markel Fultz and Cole Anthony both returned to action after a layoff. I'm not sure, Markel probably didn't play this year yet. This was his first game. Cole Anthony, I'm pretty sure, played, but it was maybe 1 or 2 games. And they were both back. They weren't great, but they are getting into shape. They're getting into better condition, and they should be some cool help to Orlando for them to stay competitive at least. Even though they'll lose a lot, still they'll be more fun to watch. Bol had just 5 shots, 6 points, not the best night from him. Paolo, 20 points, 5 assists. He was okay, but not great. Franz Wagner had 22.6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was really good. Terence Ross off the bench was solid, but the only thing that matters out of Orlando is that they got the young guards back, and they can build up on that. We move on to Boston as well. There was a shootout, and the Celtics won again. And my God, I keep saying it's every damn time, but they are so good. They don't miss. They shot 49% from the 3-point line, 22 of 45, 56% almost from the field. Man, they're nasty. They're just so good. It's crazy. Malcolm Brogdon off the bench, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. Their starters almost all in double figures except for Al Horford, who had 6-6-5 and he still made 2 threes. Jason Tatum had 49 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 12 from the 3-point line, 11 of 12 from the free throw line, and 15 of 25 overall from the field. What a great game by Jason Tatum. On both sides of the floor, he was just sensational in his 39 minutes. Jaylen Brown, 26, 7 and 5. He was not too bad himself. They keep winning. Their defense is not as good as it has been, but they're still gonna get Robert Williams back. And man, it's spooky. It's spooky. And I can't keep repeating that enough. It's just so spooky. But the Heat, well, even still undermanned, still without Jimmy Butler, they went to Boston and fought really hard. Shot 45% from the 3-point line, didn't make as many as Boston, but they fought really well. The starters all were in double figures. Max Strus finally had a good game after a long time, it feels like. He had 23 points. Tyler Hero had his best game since returning from injury, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. He was efficient also. Bam Adebayo, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He was really good. He took 19 shots, which you love to see. And Haywood Highsmith had 4 threes off the bench. Gabe Vincent had 10 points off the bench. Still some positive signs. Udonis Aslam had to defend Jason Tatum, and that shit was hilarious. That shit was nasty. That should be counted as abuse, man. Miami will be fine. Boston is just that good. Hope they get Jimmy back soon. We move on to Brooklyn as the Nets are now above 500 as they beat the Washington Wizards. And KD continues his stellar play as they were mostly in control for the game. Even though the Wizards were hanging in there, the Nets were pretty much in control for the game, and they closed it out. KD had 39, 5 and 5, 13 of 20 from the field. He was good. Kyrie had 27 and 5. He was really good. Joe Harris finally had a really good game. 14 points, 5 rebounds. He was 3 steals. He was 4 of 6 from the 3-point line, which you love to see. And just a good win for the Nets, even without Ben Simmons, who has been ruled out for next 3 games as he has experienced right knee soreness from playing actually a lot of games, and well, he's not played that many right in the last 2 years, so it's probably nothing serious, something to monitor though. And a good win for the Nets against the Wizards, who are not too shabby themselves. Kristaps Porzingis is their best player right now. He had 27 and 19, and I would argue Kyle Kuzma has been their second best player, 25, 4 and 3, which is crazy when you have Bradley Beal, who's on like a 230 million contract, and he's your third best player right now, or it at least feels like it. He's obviously one hell of a scorer, but man, it's crazy. He had 25, 5 and 6 with 5 turnovers. Kyle Kuzma had 25, 4 and 3, as I said. Danny Avdija had 7, 5 and 3. You would like more from the other guys, but well, nobody else really contributed. Corey Kispert was fine in his minutes, but nobody except the big 3 in Washington contributed here. Rough loss for him, but hey. Then we move on to 2 games that felt more old school. As first we start in Madison Square Garden as the Knicks took on the Bucks, and this game was weird. I'm not sure how many points were actually scored in that first half, but man, it was insane. The Bucks were just not making anything. The Knicks were not making anything from the outside. It was crazy. And until the 4th quarter, this game felt like we were back 10 years, because nobody could really score from the 3-point line. It was really tight. Then in the 4th quarter, both teams were explosive more. They both scored over 30 points. But it was a low-scoring game anyway, in a way, and a really inefficient night for most of these guys, except Giannis still had 13 of 25. He made much better from his free throw line, 9 of 12, 37, 13 and 7. He fouled out at the end, but it didn't matter. In the end, as Grayson Allen hit the game winner, or no, I'm not sure if it was actually the game winner, but the game sealer at least, as he hit a 3-pointer with 30 seconds left, and that was game over. as the Knicks couldn't counter. But this was a back and forth game. Not many good shots were made as they were breaking, but also a really good defense was played in this game. Both teams played solid physical defense, and it was allowed. So I really enjoyed this game. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was a really enjoyable game. Drew Holiday still had 22, 6, and 5. Pat Connaughton and Boy Portis both off the bench with 10 points. They were really solid. George Hill in his 10 minutes was 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. He was really good. And a good win for Milwaukee, much needed as they tried to keep up with Boston. That has been running away with the East a little bit, but they're still in there. They're hanging in the second seed, trying to chase down the Celtics. And for the Knicks, a rough loss as well. They really could have won this, could have finally won at home as they don't have a really good record at home. But, well, they didn't get it done even with Giannis fouling out, and they could have, taken the lead if Jalen Brunson made both his free throws. He tweaked his ankle early, so I'm going to give him a pass for this game. He was not good. Mitchell Robinson, 15 and 20. He was sensational. He was the best player on the Knicks tonight. RJ Barrett, he had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, but he took the dumb three-pointer. They didn't necessarily need it immediately. He took it instantly, and the game was over. He missed it. Even though he was really good today, one of his better games this season, it was a dumb three-point take, but hey, you live and you learn. He's still young. Hopefully he learns from it. And as I said, it was a nasty shooting night. They shot 20% from the three-point line, made just 6 3-pointers on the night. Crazy things, crazy game. Then we move into another game that felt more old school with a lot of physical defense, a lot of technical fouls, a lot of heat between these teams as the Timberwolves get a huge win over the Grizzlies and move to 11-11, back to 500. And I'm not really sure how many technical fouls were there in this game actually, but a lot of people got them. Dylan Brooks was ejected in the end, and it was a really fun, entertaining game that we watched here. Minnesota is missing Karl Anthony Towns for 4 to 6 weeks, and it actually might be, a blessing in disguise as they got all the people in their right positions now. And even though obviously Cat is an incredible player, they might, get some groove. They finally might feel like they need to step up. Everyone needs to step up, and they did tonight as they all filled their role nicely. And the Edwards doesn't have the pain to fill those two goofballs together. As he has just one big body there. He was sensational tonight. 29 points, 5 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks, 3 rebounds, just 1 turnover, 10 of 18 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Great game from Anthony Edwards. Maybe his best game of this season, even though he had better scoring. He had better scoring nights already. I felt like it was his most complete game of the year. D'Angelo Russell, 15 and 10, still took too many dumb shots, but he was great for what he did today. Rudy Gobert, 9 points, 1 rebound, 4 turnovers, and he was still good. A weird stat line from him, but he was okay. Jalen Noel, 9 of 19, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, sensational off the bench. If he keeps playing like this, they need him to, obviously, as he's been really good overall this year. But if he needs to be as consistent as possible as Cat is missing. But a great win for the T-Wolves. They needed this one. Maybe they can go on a run from here as all their guys are in position. All these guys now have a bigger chip on their shoulder. They need now to just start now. Also, last but not least, shout out Wendell Moore, who stepped in to the starting role, and he was solid in his 20 minutes. A good win for him, and rough loss for Memphis, but to a tough team that was desperate. They're 13 and 9, they're fine. Still getting more into shape with Jaren Jackson. Still missing Desmond Bane, who should be back in December here as we move on to December. And some still positive signs as David Roddy was sensational in that fourth quarter. He hit those 3 threes or 2 threes in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure if he hit all 3 of them, but he was great down the stretch. Ja struggled down the stretch, missed 5 free throws today, which is a lot. He had 7 turnovers. He not his best game. Still put up some decent stats, just not his best overall game. Jaren 16 and 11, 2 blocks. Fine game from him. Dylan Brooks, he got ejected, 12-6-3, 2 steals. He still defends at a high level, but man, I couldn't put up with him as if I was a fan of the Grizzlies. 4 of 14 from the free field. Yeah, nasty stuff. Some nasty stuff from him. We move on to New Orleans as the Pelicans blow out the Raptors and are now 13 and 8. And this was just a nasty blowout. The Pelicans are getting more and more into groove. Zion has been sensational these last couple of games and looks more himself. He played 37 minutes. He had 33 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Sensational game from him. 12 points from Herb Jones. Jonas Valanciunas 16 and 13. Shout out to Dyson Daniels. The rookie was sensational tonight. He had 14, 8, and 9. And a great game from him. And if he plays like this as a rookie, man, they got something in there. Larry Nance, 10 and 5 off the bench, still good. Trey Murphy, 26 points, 6 threes, sensational as he steps up for Brandon Ingram, who's still out. I'm not sure if he's bound to return soon, but I hope so, because we need them healthy finally. But man, the circle in there is crazy, right? One day it's Zion, then it's Brandon. Hopefully it doesn't continue. The Raptors got blown out. Gary Trent was great, shooting wise, 35 points, 12 of 20. Pascal Siakam, 23.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Rough loss for the Raptors after, embarrassing Cleveland. They got destroyed a little bit, but hey, shit happens, right? In Oklahoma, the Thunder beat the Spurs, even without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And yeah, I didn't watch this game. And I couldn't care less without Shai. But I saw some highlights. Devin Vassell was still really good for the Spurs. He had 25 points. Keldon Johnson, man, he needs to. I'm so disappointed in Keldon Johnson after the start of the season. That's all I'll say. The Spurs, no one cares really about them. I don't. They're just nasty tanking right now. Jalen Williams, OKC, 27.6 rebounds to assists, 11 of 15 from the field. Great game from the rookie. You love to see it. Trey Mann off the bench at 16. You love to see that. Lou Dort had 23. You love to see that. Josh Giddey 14 and 14. I'm still not sold on Josh Giddey. But hey, he's a nice guy. Next, we get to Denver as the Nuggets blow out the Rockets again in back-to-back games. And they get another great game from Jamal Murray as he's been heating up. Hopefully he keeps this up. It has been 2 great games against these Houston Rockets. But it's still a good point. Good, landing spot. Good starting point. He had 26 points once again. 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. 9 of 15. Great stuff from him. They found something with Vlatko Kankar, who's been sensational. 13 and 5, 5 of 6. Hopefully he keeps this up. Happy for him. DeAndre Jordan once again looked like a competent center, which is nasty stuff from Houston. And Aaron Gordon, 20 points. Jokic, his usual 17, 9 and 12, casual. 7 of 9 from the field. He's just too good for this game, man. 18, 5, 4 and 2 from Bruce Brown. Could have done a little better for my fantasy, but still a good game from him. Good win for the Nuggets. And from one blowout to another blowout as the Suns blow out the Bulls, and they are nasty. They're weird. And I keep saying they're weird. They're confusing as hell to me. They're gonna beat my Warriors on Friday, and I can already smell it, man. I can already feel it because they're that weird. This was the D-Book game. 51 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Nasty stuff, nasty mid-range, nasty 3-pointer. Missed one free throw though. 20 of 25 in 30 minutes, 3 quarters. 51 points in 3 quarters is nasty. Great stuff. And if you, just look at the headlines, you could see Devin Booker with 51 points in 3 quarters. Well, DeAndre Ayton wasn't too shabby himself, right? 30 and 14, 11 of 17 from the field. He's been stepping up lately. Damian Lillard, Shamet off the bench, both with 12. And this Phoenix Suns team is really good. And, they're a lot more likable without CP3. Also, all I'm saying. For the Bulls, 29 points from DeRozan. Levine with one of his most efficient game of the year, so that's something, right? And we move into the mountains again as the Utah Jazz snapped their 5-game losing streak and beat the Clippers at home. 13 and 11 on the season now. And it was a much-needed bounce back from the Jazz. Much needed good game from the Jazz. The defense was still not great, but the offense finally clicked. They moved the ball a little bit better. 23 points, 9 rebounds from Markkanen, the standard from him. Jordan Clarkson at 33 points, he was sensational. Colin Sexton with 21, 6 and 6. He's been stepping up. He was really good today. And overall, the starters just did their job, did their thing. Jared Vanderbilt was huge in that 4th quarter. Shout out to him with 14 and 12. And a much needed win for the Jazz, who have been slipping up lately. And they've missed Mike Conley 100%, but they also started playing some more hero ball with these guys, a lot more isolation, a lot less movement of the ball, and it maybe got into their head a little bit too much. Hopefully they keep competing and continue to be a lot of fun as they beat the Clippers, who still without PG, without Kawhi, and we still don't know any timetables for them. John Wall got to the line 13 times. He had 26 points, 5 assists. And it was great to see him, cutting into the paint, getting into the paint at will and drawing these fouls. Still shot way too many times from the mid-range and everything, but you love to see it. He needs to do this if he wants to, get back to anything, substantial in this league. Not substantial, but if he, wants to actually be a huge impact for the team in the playoffs, he needs to get these times, get these games in, and just shoot it out the system, get it out the system, get more comfortable on the court, and hopefully he'll be fine come playoff time. If they get there with the health issues, but they will be right there in the mix. We know that, not maybe in the championships mix, but they will be in there in that 5th, 6th seed if PG and Kawhi are not healthy, and if they get healthy, they can be in that 3rd, 4th seed spot. And Musa Diabate hit 11 and 8. Shout out to him. 2 back-to-back games, great from him. I want to give him a huge shout out. And then the disappointing game of the night for me, the Kings blew out the Pacers as they get a huge win after a tough loss. After a couple of tough losses. And De'Aaron Fox, 19-5 and 6. He was solid, even though it didn't feel like he had this fine of a game. Still a really good game. The X factor for them, Harrison Barnes at 22 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and he was sensational all night. And when he plays great, they win. It's a proven fact right now. Kevin Huerter had 13, Domantas Sabonis at 11, 10, and 7 in 23 minutes. Didn't even have to play that much. Malik Monk off the bench with 20, Terrence Davis with 15. The duo of the bench was sensational. Davion Mitchell with good minutes. Everyone played great pretty much, except, the garbage time guys, but still a great game from them. A huge, much needed bounce back after a little rough stretch. And the Pacers get another rough loss on the road after a huge win in LA. They get blown out again, and it's rough, but hey, they're a young team. It happens. Benedict Mathurin with 22 points still. Tyrese with just 9 and 10. He was not great. He forced it a little bit too much, maybe, and it wasn't falling. And yeah, they didn't let the game come to them at all. They were missing a lot of bunnies, a lot of wide open threes, but they just couldn't knock it down today, and it happens. It's a rough spot to play in right now against Sacramento in Sacramento, and they got demolished. And last but not least, we move on to LA as the Lakers move to 8 and 12 and beat the Blazers. Yeah, and that start from the Blazers, just like from the Utah Jazz, has been really undermined with the Dame injury. Who knows how they would fare with Dame healthy, but he isn't, and they are competing, but it's just not enough. Justice Winslow had 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was really good. Anthony Simons had 22 and 8. Jeremy Grant had 27. Trent Watford had 10. Shaedon Sharp had his best game once again in last three games. He finally stepped up after a while, but he's a rookie. We should expect up and downs from him. He had 16 points. And this Blazers team is sad to me because I feel like they have huge potential. They're going to be held back by Yusuf Nurkic to me. And, if Dame isn't healthy, then we know that it's, nothing's going to happen. But hopefully he should return. I think he should return on December 4th, he said. So can't wait to see him back. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again, as he's had really rough luck with injuries these last couple of games. Not games, these last couple of, years, really, right? And hopefully he gets back and stays healthy finally for the rest of the year. LA, man, they're looking better. They're looking better. The whole half-court defense is looking better. The, guys playing much higher level. Anthony Davis, 27 and 12. He was great. LeBron was sensational, 31, 7 and 8. Austin Reeves and I kept pointing it out every time they played. He's been sensational for these last like 8 games. Shout out to him. Wonder what his contract is gonna look like after this season, since he's gonna be a free agent. That's gonna be something to watch. Raz hit those 2 half-court shots, had 10 points, and had 4 of 14 from the field. No turnovers though. Shout out to Raz. It was entertaining, not to say the least. Thomas Bryant in his 19 minutes had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. That's some good sign from them, and a lot of good signs from the Lakers. They just need their one trade made, and they could be maybe something, but still the lingering health questions will be there, obviously. And a lot of, can that trade really make them a contender? Who knows? Who knows, right? But I think it's 100% worth it if you got LeBron and AD. We'll see how the market is. If they, keep staying around those 4 games under 500, it should be fine enough. Maybe they can get to 500 with the schedule, but I think the schedule is now, after tonight's game, getting really rougher. And it's gonna be interesting to see how they do in this rough stretch before Christmas, where it will probably all be determined, right, if anything happens. And that about does it. That about does it. A lot of games, a lot of good storylines, and a lot of fun games. Some even felt, a little out of touch with, the game that is today, or how you want to say this era, but it was a lot of fun. Some blowouts also, but some fun blowouts at the same time. Good, I would say a really fun night in the NBA overall. But tonight we have just the Mavs against the Pistons. For some reason we have just one game on December 1st. I guess they're too scared of football as the Bills play the Patriots. I don't fucking know, but it's sad. I'm sad about it. Then on Friday we have a lot of games again. Why aren't some of these games, why is at least like 2 of them not tonight? I don't know. I don't get it. But hey, I'll be here to cover the Mavs against the Pistons, as they will beat the Pistons. Now I'm jinxing them, so they won't beat the Pistons, and I'm jinxing. I'll be here to cover it. Don't worry. Have a blessed day. Stay safe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.